Well, hey, PRPC, it's Pastor Amanda here, and I wanted to thank everyone who was a part of our Zoom baby shower yesterday or who has sent us cards or dropped off cards or gifts over the last few days. Terry and I feel so loved and supported and really excited to be entering this new phase of our life with you all and in this community. For those of you who couldn't be a part of the Zoom baby shower, I wanted to do a little baby shower recap, or maybe even if you were on the call, it was a little hard to keep track of what was going on all the time. And there were a couple questions that were asked or things that we talked about that came to mind as the day went on yesterday that I thought maybe I could share with you all who were on the call or who maybe missed it. And so I wrote down a couple things. But the first was just, what does your nursery look like? And so I'm in the nursery. Our very first kids worship live, I actually filmed in here because it was empty. We didn't have any of our nursery furniture. But this is our nursery, and the story I'm going to tell about both this nursery and kind of the phase that Terry and I are in, I think speaks a lot to our message series right now, Canoeing the Mountains, and then also just this phase of life that we find ourselves in and this unknown. So we're in the nursery. Terry and I decided on this mountain theme, and Terry painted this for me, and I love it so much. And we decided that we really liked the idea of adventure being the theme of our baby's nursery. And it certainly is going to be the adventure of this baby coming into the world. It is a crazy time to be bringing a little person into the world. But we really know that parenting is going to be our next big adventure together as a couple. And so we wanted an essence of that to be in this room. I have experienced so much growth and learning and encountered God in all of my moments of getting to be in the wild. National parks are a huge part of my family's story and has become a part of Terry and my family's story. And so we wanted a little bit of that to be a part of this little one's, earliest memories, and really a story that we get to help them right from the beginning. Another thing you guys asked us is, do we know the gender of our baby? And we don't. We decided we're going to be surprised. And if you guys watched yesterday's message, you know that that might not be normal for me. If you've known me a while, or even just a little bit since I've been here at PRPC, surprise and me don't really go together because there's a lack of control when you're surprised. And that's actually exactly why I was so eager and interested to try to get Terry was actually the one who wanted to know what the baby was. And I really wanted to be surprised because I wanted to choose from the very beginning to recognize the lack of control we are going to have over so many things in parenting. And I talk about that a little bit in the message that we posted yesterday, if you want to go check that out. So that was an intentional choice, and it was something I knew God put on my heart, that I was going to be tempted to control a lot of things in parenting and in this little person's life, and I wanted to choose from the beginning that obviously this was something I wasn't going to have control over from the beginning, but then just really letting these whole pregnancy time and time where this baby's growing for the gender to not be something that is something I'm thinking about. And there's a reason for that, not just the control piece of it, but also, I've been working with students for a really long time, and parents can have expectations on their kids, some that they know about and some that they don't know about, that can be really damaging for kids. And I said to Terry, I think this could just be the first chance we have to recognize the expectations we might be putting on a kid just by whether they're a boy or a girl, and really leaning into some of the adventure of that. If there's one thing we want as parents. It's to be able to see and know our kid for who they are, who God made them to be, and not who we decided they had to be. So that was a really intentional choice for us. And shout out to the Andersons. It was Debbie Anderson on Christmas Eve after the family service. She was talking to my family after the family service about how much they loved being surprised, both by Emma and Maya, both being girls, because they didn't find out both times. And it was you guys who convinced Terry about how fun it could be. So that's both our shout out to you guys for helping, me get this gender surprise in a couple, next month, guys. So that was a little bit about control and a little bit about leaning into who God creates us to be and not always leaning into other people's expectations of what we're supposed to be. And the last one I just wanted to share with you all is that when Terry and I felt called to move home, as you guys know, we were living out in New Jersey, but both of our families are in the Chicago area. We knew we were called to come home, and we knew that the next version of our family would take place when we moved home at some point. We knew that there was going to be a new phase of life for us here when we moved back. And when we were discerning what community, what church was going to be the best place for our family, I remember praying to God, and I remember saying to Josh, we're looking for the church that's going to love us into the next version of our family. And I wanted to share that with you all because that's you guys. You guys are that community that has already been loving us into the next version of our family. And that started very quickly with us getting a dog in the first week I lived in Park Ridge. But really, this whole pregnancy journey and being able to share that with you all, even though so much of it now has been in quarantine and at a distance, you guys are going to be the community that our kid is raised in. And that was a prayer in our heart, and God has answered that prayer and provided for us in a really, really beautiful way. So I wanted to share all of that with you, as I'm sure these would have been some of the stories we would have shared as we're, walking through the church halls or at coffee hour. So I hope that's encouraging to you all, or interesting, or at least you just know a little bit more about how we're doing in this and how much we love and really value that we are in this place, in this time with you all. See you guys soon.